Long before she was a college student,
Tasia, our presentation.
Oliviana Watkins became a political observer.
I really got interested in politics right around the Trump and Clinton election, which is kind of weird because I was like 10, but it was like a really cool thing to see because I was like, oh, we might have a female president. That didn't happen. I was very upset, but that's when I really started getting involved. Now that I'm older, I can vote. I'm in a different area. Now I'm really excited for this election.
Her excitement she's translated into action on behalf of her preferred candidate.
She's already done so much to become the first female vice president. We'll finally have a woman leading our country. I'd be so happy to see that.
When she's not studying here at George Mason University, Oliviana is putting her energy and enthusiasm behind the effort to get Kamala Harris elected. She says her perspective is informed in part by her strong belief that Donald Trump is unfit to hold office.
Especially considering the things he has said about women, people of color, LGBTQ rights, immigrants, and just like, why is this the person we want running our country who's so obviously a very hateful person?
In contrast, Oliviana believes that Kamala Harris is genuine and will deliver policies that protect and uplift average Americans. And she says the Harris-Walz ticket will build on what she considers recent economic successes of the Biden administration.
With Biden and Harris working to cap the price of insulin, they really do care about the middle and lower classes in trying to make life more livable and more comfortable for them, especially regarding, obviously, life-saving medication. However, former President Trump has tried to repeal Obamacare. I mean, people are having to choose between getting medication and getting groceries for that month.
When it comes to groceries, gasoline, housing, living expenses that she says many young people have struggled to manage, Oliviana says she sees how world events have impacted these costs, and she puts her trust in Kamala Harris.
When the war broke out in Ukraine, gas prices, everything went up because that's what conflict does.
Everyone say Young Dems.
The president of Virginia Young Democrats, who's out campaigning alongside Oliviana and others, says he's excited about the enthusiasm and voting power millennials and Gen Z voters are bringing to the ballot box.
About 2 out of 3 times, the millennials and Gen Z voters are breaking towards the left. What we're seeing is gun violence is a huge part of what people are voting on. Climate change is another part because we want to be able to actually have a future and a future planet to live on.
Royer says Oliviana is emblematic of what his party wants to see in many of Virginia's hotly contested areas.
Our college towns are really where a lot of our battleground districts are. So a lot of those districts are heavily Republican, but all of these students are living there the majority of the year, whether it's out at James Madison in the 6th district, or it's the 5th district with UVA, the 9th district with Virginia Tech, or even down in Hampton Roads with any of the colleges in those areas. If we had more of these college kids voting, we would get so many more votes for Democrats, and we see that from our college Dems like Oliviana.
Oliviana is not a native Virginian, but hails from Michigan. She intends, however, to make Virginia home after graduation, working in international policy. She says President Harris would represent America well on the world stage, but she says she's hopeful, too, that her choice for president will approach difficult issues like abortion.
Most people did not want Roe v. Wade overturned. I want to have the ability to make my own decision about my body and my future.
Issues like gun violence.
Having more gun control laws, so making it harder to get automatic weapons.
On a host of issues.
For gasoline, for example, reduce our reliance on foreign gasoline, but also not damaging the environment.
She's researched and studied and decided that parties are arguing about topics she says should be not partisan at all. And for this election cycle, she says Harris is the way to a better future.
If I didn't think these things were so important, I would not be sitting here right now. This is going to have a big factor in the next few years of my life, and I want to be able to have a role and a voice in deciding that.
Thank you for watching. Continue to follow Virginia news and stories by subscribing to our VPM YouTube channel.